Hello, beautiful people. It's your girl Gine and it's Gine's Signatures. So I welcome you all for my tutorial for today. So today we'll be making this asymmetric neckline. It's a pencil gown with these beautiful sleeves. So you can see that one shoulder is a full shoulder and the other one is like an off shoulder sleeve. So if this is what you're interested in, please sit back, relax, and enjoy. So my client is on the small side, so I made use of about 2 and some meters of fabric for this tutorial. You don't really need much fabric for this if you can manage your fabric very, very well. And this came out looking beautiful. It was very, very beautiful on my client, and she loved it. So if this is what you're interested in, like I said earlier, please sit back, relax, and let's enjoy this beautiful tutorial together. If you're a beginner, this is for you as well. So without wasting time, let's go over. So I'll be cutting the lower part, that is the skirt part first. So for this, I'll be cutting both the front and the back together at the same time. So for the back piece, I already have the zipper allowance, and then the front piece I folded on top. So in order for you to get the width of this, you use your biggest body part measurement, which is the hip for my client, and then you had your sewing allowances. So right there at the first part of the folded fabric, I'll be dividing the waist measurement by 4, and then I'll be inputting that, and then I'll add 1 inch for that, and then sewing allowances. You can use 1, you can use 1.5, you can use 2 inches. So I made use of 2 inches because I'm used to that. And then I got a waist to hip measurements, which I just ruled out about now. So on that line, I'll be inputting a hip measurement, and then I'll add my sewing allowance of 2 inches. So I'll connect my waist to my hip like so, using my pattern master. So at the lower part of the skirt, you can either leave it straight like this, or you can do it tapered like you want it penciled. So to that, I just measured my hip measurement divided by 4 without any allowances. So that is basically what I connected right there to the hip line. So because I want it tapered, but if you want to leave yours just straight like that, you can entirely leave it. It's quite optional. So that is just dependent on your preference. So I'm going ahead to cut this, and this is what we have. So now, to have our slit at the back, I'll be going up by about 8 inches, and then I'll leave about half an inch from there and then cut it out, because there's going to be a slit at the back. So now I'll slit open the zipper allowance. So now we are basically through with our skirt parts. And then in order to get my dart, I just divided a bust span measurement into 2, and then I'll just give it a notch so that when I'm sewing, it's going to be pretty easy for me to do. So we'll have our front part, and then we'll have our back parts. So now just fold this and set this aside so that we'll go over to the upper parts. Now for the upper part, I'll be doing the same thing. I'll be cutting both the front and back together. That's the zipper allowance for the back. So now for this tutorial, it's just going to be having a normal dart. I'm not going to be doing a bustier or a princess dart or whatever. It's just going to be a normal dart. So that's why I said this tutorial is for our beginners. So it's just like drafting a basics body. So now I got my shoulder measurement divided by 2, and then I came down by that same amount, and then got my armhole. Just divide your armhole by whatever just divide your armhole measurement, or you can still use your shoulder measurement and come down for it for your armhole, because I always use that and it has always worked out for me. So for the neck width, I will make use of 3 inches tentatively. So for the back neck depth, I made use of 1 inch, and then for the front depth, I made use of 2 inches. So this is because we're going to be adjusting this later on. So I just slanted my shoulder by 1 inch, and then I'll get the midpoint. Okay, I extended that of the armhole because I didn't remember to do my shoulder slant first. So I'll divide my bust measurement by 4. I'll get that, and then I'll add my sewing allowances of 2 inches. So now I'll get the midpoint of the armhole, come in by half an inch, and then curve out my armhole for the front. So now I'll come to my waist measurement, and then divide the waist by 4, add 1 inch for that, and then 2 inches sewing allowance. So I'll just go ahead and connect this like so. So now I'll just draw out my armhole for the back. So now I'll come over to the waist area to impute my dart. I divide the bust span measurement by 2, and then just to get my dart, so I'll roll out my chest line like so, impute my bust span measurement there as well, come down by 1 inch from that, and then connect my darts. You know the way, usual way it's done. So just get your alpha inch like so. You know you added 1 inch for your darts. So that's basically all for now. So I'll just give it a notch. So I'll be cutting out that salvage parts very soon, because it's not good when it appears on your clothes. It makes your clothes not look professional. It makes it look not neat. It makes it look local. So I'll be cutting out the back piece first. So you can see that it's the back armhole that I'm cutting, and it was the back armhole neck depth that I cut out. So I just slanted my shoulder like so. So I'll notch my zipper, and then I'll separate these two for now. I'll separate these two. So let me adjust the armhole for the front, as you can see, and then I'll adjust the neck as well. So now the next thing to do now is to come over to the back piece and then adjust our zipper bulginess by removing half an inch from the back and then slanting half an inch towards the waistline like this. This has always worked perfectly well. And then cutting out the excess salvages that is on that lower part, because it's not part of the measurement that I imputed, so it's not going to be affecting anything. So let me quickly notch back my that. So for the front part, I'll equally cut out the salvage end. Please ensure you do that. You don't want your clothes looking somehow when you are finished. So just give it a notch. So this is what we have. So we have our front pieces, and then we have our back pieces as well. So the next thing to do now is that my zipper area, I'll be using my pins to hold it temporarily as if I've sewn it in place. But if you don't have enough pins to do this, you can just take it to your sewing machine and then run a temporary stitch. You can run like a loose stitch just to hold that place in place before you go ahead to do the next thing I'm about to do right about now. So I'm just using my pins to hold that because I don't want to run the stitch. So we're going to be assuming that we have sewn this zipper allowance tentatively for now. So you can see the way it's looking because I've used the pins to hold it in place. So you can see the way it is by the time you open it. So let me open up the remaining part here. So this is how it is. That's our zipper allowance. So I'll be bringing my front piece now. I'll be placing it on it. So this will be as if I've already finished the clothes. Like the wrong side of the back is facing the wrong side of the front. Like the clothes, like it's already worn. That's the way it's looking. So this is what we want to get now. Though my client said she wanted us to come down a little bit more than that of the models, because the models one looked choky. It stood on a collarbone. So my client said she would want us to come down a little bit. So I came down by 3 inches from this armhole on the left hand side. I'll be maintaining the neck width. So all you need to do is to just use your ruler anyhow you want it, but I'm going to be making use of a free hand and then do it out like a curve. For the model on the thumbnail, she just did it straight. So if you still want to do your own straight, you just use your ruler and connect to that line, and then you can cut out. So this is very, very super easy to achieve. So you can just, anyhow you want just to look, you can go ahead and do that. So as was the model's own was just straight. She didn't curve it out at all. But my client didn't want discomfort around the neck region, so that was why she told me to come down a little bit for her own, which I did. So you can see the way it came out. This is how it's going to be looking. I'm trying to remove the pins that I held those clothes with. So you can see this is how it's going to be by the time we finish sewing it. This is how it's going to be. So remember these 3 inches you removed here, we are still going to be replacing it because that's how it's going to be standing on the waist and shoulder area. So now this is the front part of the skirt. I'm going to use my lining to turn it all the way. I've done the same thing for the upper part as well, put in my darts and all. So you can see the front part. I've gone ahead to use my lining to turn it out and giving it a very good press. So the next thing is to just place right sides facing each other and join it by half an inch. The same thing is going to be applicable to the back pieces as well. So you can see the back pieces. I've gone ahead to sew them as well. I'm going to have to sew them as well. Turned it out with my lining, and this is what we have. So now we'll take each part for the upper parts, which I've also turned and then did the darts. I'll just go and join it by half an inch. This as well, and then join it by half an inch. So by the time I'm through with this, I'll close it out and then come back to show you the next step. So I've gone ahead to do that, and you can see this is what we have. So you can see our armhole, you can see the neckline. I've even gone ahead to attach my zipper. I just felt like it's better for me to do all this so that by the time I come back, it will be fast to finish the tutorial. So I've gone ahead to do that. You can see the slit at the back all looking clean and neat. So the next thing now for us is to attach our sleeves. So now the sleeves is in 3 parts. I'll be showing you the 3 parts because I'll not be showing you how to fix that. If you want a tutorial, just holler at me. So this is the first part. The first part is like a basic sleeve. The second part is a pleat. You open your basic sleeve like this, and then you're going to be pleating this into it until it gets into the basic sleeve. And then the third part is going to be the band. So the band is going to be on the wrist like this, and then you're going to be pleating that as well into the band to make up for it, and that is just it. Then you close it out and then you go ahead and fix your zip. So that was how I achieved those sleeves. For the off shoulder, remember you cut out 3 inches, and it's the same 3 inches you'll be using for your off shoulder when you want to attach it. If you don't know how to cut an off shoulder sleeve, please, I already have detailed tutorials on how to do that on my channel. So this is how we came to the end of this beautiful tutorial, as in this is how we come to the end of this tutorial. So if you enjoyed watching it, please don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, don't forget to share, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And like I always say, this is Jeannie's Signatures, and I'll be signing out. See you all on my next tutorial. Bye.